With great pleasure, I welcome you to the Nigerian Virtual Book Fair 2020.
And welcome to the 19th Annual Nigerian Book Fair.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2020 Nigeria International Book Fair.
What have we done? If you publish a book and it doesn't get to the end user, that book is out.
Many booksellers associations fail. As our moderator pointed out, there is the inevitable conflict between individual success, running fastest, and association success, moving together.
First of all, let me congratulate all who have worked hard to take the traditional book fair online.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go on.
We want to welcome each and everyone to this program. The first in the series of BAN conferences at this year book fair, which is a virtual one. I want to welcome everyone again, and I hope and I pray that we'll be having a very great time today. Already, I can see our leaders in the industry, and I can see Mr. Kolo Lighton. Good morning, Mr. Lighton.
Good morning, my moderator.
Okay. Mr. Kevin, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Mr. John Festus, you're welcome.
Good morning.
Okay. BAM President, Mr. Luatui, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I think I also saw Mr. Adesui.
He's there. Yes, definitely.
Okay. You are also welcome this morning. Okay. You're welcome. We are aware of this program and we are ready to start, even with this recognition, because of our time. We know this is a conference that is kickstarting the conferences for the BAN today. So I want to quickly call on Mr. Oluwatui to give his opening remarks.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I welcome you to the first BAN event, the Bookseller Association of Nigeria event, in this year virtual book fair. I thank you all for your presence, and especially our speaker for today, Kevin Van Assen.
I have to go and look online whether you see.
We'll be going into the program now. Our topic is an effective booksellerization, the needed stimulus in the book supply chain. When we were elected over a year ago, the responsibility given to us was to ensure that we have a very Nigerian bookseller association. And myself and my team, this is what we have been working on since we took over. I can't score myself mark, but I believe that we are not doing badly. But we're going to improve from what we have done so far before the expiration of our tenure. And what we are doing just now is part of that. We are a strong pillar behind the Nigerian Book Fair Trust. And we are playing our role very well. So because we have lost some time, I won't waste much time. I welcome you all and hope that we will all have a nice time at this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Oluwatoyi, the president of Booksellers Association of Nigeria. Thank you for welcoming us to this event. Without wasting any time again, just as was mentioned by the president, the topic we are looking at this morning is an effective booksellers association, the needed stimulus in the book supply chain. We know that the book supply chain with input of various professionals, the author, the publisher, the printer, and the bookseller has long been distorted in the book industry in Nigeria. Each professional has at different times taken on the role of the other professional. Each has tried to outdo the other, resulting in dire consequences and chaos in the industry. There's no doubt that the industry will have grown to a more enviable status if the division of labor as well as collaboration have been allowed and embraced by the professionals. But even more destructive is the division and unhealthy competition and rivalry that exists within the body of each professional stakeholder in the industry. The Association of Nigerian Authors, the Nigerian Publishers Association, the Association of Nigerian Printers, Booksellers Association of Nigeria, all have not been able to grow as envisaged due to non-cooperation, infighting, succession challenges that have dogged the bodies. This has encouraged charlatans and contractors to infiltrate the midst, making effective administration and projection of one voice a mirage. Today, it is difficult to account for the number of genuine booksellers in Nigeria. Everyone who has the means opens shop and display books for the populace to buy. When there are government bids for books in the education sector, all shades of persons turn up trying to only make money and not necessarily providing professional book service. Needless to say that this scenario gives government and its agencies, as well as the buying public, various advantages over the booksellers. Individualism can only be injurious to what otherwise would have been one indivisible entity with enormous strength. It is time for booksellers to realize the import of the saying that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. It is this that we want to look at today and say that this realism is the background to our topic of discussion, an effective booksellers association, the needed stimulus in the book supply chain. Without missing words, booksellers are great stimuli in getting the works of the author, publishers, and printers to the end users. Today, we have a man who has sold books and educational materials all his life as the guest speaker at this event. And I'm sure we are in for a great time. I want to see how does the Bookseller Association position itself as the needed stimulus in the book supply chain, going by the fact that it is a big body that's actually dictate the pace when it comes to book supply. So we go ahead now, and I want to enjoin our people, to all our participants, note down your questions for possible contribution, clarification, and questions at the end of the day. So I'm going to call on Mr. Kola Olaito now to introduce our speaker of today.
Yeah, good morning, moderator.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for that wonderful preamble.
Thank you, sir.
Kelvin Van Hasselt. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it gives me a very great pleasure to be called upon to introduce a person I call a long-time friend and a business partner who has been selected as our keynote speaker of today. Kelvin Van Hasselt is well known to so many of us because he has dealt with so many of us in so many ways. Kelvin is an authority and a very notable publisher's representative for educational books covering preschool to tertiary level. He has spent the last 45 years in the book trade, as been mentioned by the moderator, serving particularly Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean. His first trip to Nigeria was in June 1975, then as an export salesman for Macmillan Press, the then University Books Division of Macmillan. Kelvin has since then visited Nigeria many times, and he has so much love and admiration for the country and its people, to which he referred as the most entrepreneurial in Africa. Many of us are usually thrilled yearly, just like he does, to be part of his exhibition that takes place before the London Book Fair and in his office in the UK. I remember very vividly that the Booksellers Association resuscitation took place. He gave us the platform to start again, to resuscitate the Booksellers Association right there at one of his exhibitions in the UK, which is usually held before the London Book Fair. So no other person would have been a good qualification to take up this kind of role than Kelvin. Kelvin has no doubt been a wonderful friend, partner, mentor, and ally of many booksellers in Nigeria, yours sincerely inclusive. I can tell you for free that, but for him, I was to go back into the accountancy world to which I belong. Here is a gentleman who is usually happy to welcome a lot of us to Norfolk, not minding what it will cost him. Kelvin is happily married to his lovely wife, Christy, with children, and they live in Norfolk. They live in Birmingham, Norfolk, part of the United Kingdom. On your behalf, I want to sincerely welcome our dear friend, brother, partner, mentor, and ally of many booksellers in Nigeria, like I mentioned earlier on, Kelvin Van Hasselt. Over to you, Kelvin.
Kola, thank you very much for that lovely introduction. And it brings back many happy memories of your visits to London and Norfolk. And thank you too to Mr. Adebola Adeshina for setting the scene so wonderfully for this talk, and to Dare Olotui for inviting me in the first place. I'm very deeply honored to be here in the presence of the founding fathers of this association, Kolade Misoro, Dayo Alabi, Kola Laiten, Ronki Ormalade, Lanre Adesui, and many others, and many other devoted committee members who over the years have put in the time to build up this association. And I'm therefore very excited to be addressing this audience, this distinguished audience, the largest booksellers association in Africa, and indeed one of the largest booksellers associations in the world. The Nigerian Booksellers Association has a membership of, I'm told, 4,000, and that is equal to the membership of the German Booksellers and Publishers Association, which is also 4,000. So our task today is to make this Booksellers Association not only the largest in the world, but the best. And I'm going to look at these topics. Why do we have an association at all? What's the point of it? I'm going to look at advocacy, promoting the role of booksellers, maintaining standards, membership benefits, and most important of all, actually, and really the subject, the background of your conference, is the threats to the book trade, the online sellers like Amazon. And finally, what can we do to deal with these threats, to move forward the interests of all the booksellers throughout Nigeria as an association together? What is the way forward? First of all, just looking at why an association. What is the point of an association? I mean, the title of this talk is An Effective Booksellers Association, the Needed Stimulus in the Booksellers, in the Book Supply Chain. And that is put as an assertion, as if it was obvious. But perhaps it should be a question, and end with a question. An Effective Booksellers Association, the needed stimulus in the book supply chain? Question mark. Many booksellers associations fail. As our moderator pointed out, there is the inevitable conflict between individual success, running fastest, and association success, moving together. The lack of time in the day of a busy bookseller to devote to association affairs. Just the sheer apathy, the apathy among members to join in association affairs. And in Europe and America, the number of booksellers are declining due to online sales from Amazon. And Amazon in UK occupy 25% of the UK market. And no doubt they'll come to Nigeria in the not too distant future. If we are going to deal with that threat in Nigeria, we need a strong association, and we need to build it now. One thing I would emphasize is my passionate belief is that good booksellers are vital to the prosperity, the future development, and the happiness of every country. Most especially in Africa, where libraries are few and far between and often not funded. And so a small bookshop in some small upcountry town may be the only source of scholarship, the only source of reading material, the only possibility of enjoying the pleasure of reading that a small child can get. I passionately believe too that if Nigeria is to achieve its full potential, to enable the people in every corner of this country to achieve their full potential, then Nigeria needs many more booksellers and many more good booksellers. So the question we need to examine is whether a booksellers association can actually be of assistance, can actually help increase the number of good booksellers and their distribution around the country, as well as improving the fortunes of booksellers generally. And how do we set about this task in Nigeria? I thought it might be useful for this conference if we just, for a few moments, explored a few other associations. And I will start with the American Booksellers Association, the ABA, who run the American Booksellers Association annual conference. If you look at their website, it emphasizes the importance of independent booksellers. It states, independent bookstores act as community anchors. They serve a unique role in promoting the open exchange of ideas, enriching the cultural life of communities, and creating an economically vibrant neighborhood. Well, those are, and it gives the contact and phone numbers and email address of the association. So it then has right on its front page a piece about no Amazon monopoly. America is the birthplace of Amazon. That's where Amazon had its first big effects on booksellers. And it's had a pretty tough effect. Many booksellers have gone out of business. But the ABA is providing the toolkits, the defense weapons to enable independent booksellers to survive. And I strongly recommend that the association look at the American Booksellers Association website. There's another little trick the Americans got up their sleeve, and that is on the front of the website, they tell you about the regional associations. I mean, America, like Nigeria, is a vast country with many different states within it, just like Nigeria. And the regional associations have got their own websites, and those are very, very good. And I looked at the California website, for example, the California Booksellers Association. And one useful thing it's got, for example, which I think you could add to your Nigeria Booksellers Association website, is they've got a list of all the publishers' reps, not just Kelvin, but all the others, Julian and Guy, and all the other reps they'll have. And they'll have all the imprints that they represent. And they'll have the phone number and the email of those publishers' reps. They also, of course, have regional events in California. And so booksellers in that region can get together. I then looked at the Booksellers Association website in the UK. And again, I think that is the Booksellers Association in the UK has a lovely cozy picture of a bookshop, and it stresses something different. It doesn't stress campaigning, it stresses membership benefits, all the useful things you can get from the Booksellers Association. One of those things, if you go to the membership benefits section of that website, you will see a heading called Practical Guides. So if you want to, for example, learn how to do a window display, there's a 28-page booklet about how to do a window display. If you want a guide to running bookshop events, like author events, or launching the new Harry Potter, or whatever it is you want to run, again, there's another 28-page guide on exactly how to run events. If you want to work with schools, there's another guide. And on average, UK booksellers work with about 9 different schools in their area. And it tells you how to do that, how to track email addresses of particular heads of departments in particular schools when they're difficult to get, and all the different tricks of the trade of how to deal with schools. And there's another chapter which ties in with what the Americans are doing. There's a section called Community Activism. And there's a Booksellers Association guide to how to get in your community, how to embed yourself in the community, how to be the cultural center of the community, how to become the essential linchpin so that everybody loves their local bookshop, comes to their local bookshop, and feels bad if they ever click on that Amazon website. There's another very good section in the Booksellers Association UK website called Campaigns. And two of those listings are well worth looking at, I think. And you could probably adapt them for Nigerian use. One is called World Book Day, which I know you do in Nigeria, but the website in UK is a fantastic one. It's addressed to schools, to parents, teenagers, and of course bookshops. And it is absolutely superb. And it gives you lots of books to promote, which again you might pick up on. There's another campaign called Books Are My Bag, and it happens in October, and every bookshop will really be pushing a cloth bag saying with the logo "Books Are My Bag," and that really advertises that books are important. The other website I looked at was the German Publishers Association. Publishers and Booksellers Association. They are combined. It's the only Booksellers Association I know which is actually combined with the publishers. And that really emphasizes the German spirit, really, of cooperation between booksellers and publishers, working together, stronger together. This association was founded in 1875, and it marks a long tradition in Germany of a really organized, sort of German organized book trade. And what is at the very foundation? What is the mark of this association's authority is the fact that the German Association has a very detailed training program for all booksellers. You cannot be a bookseller in Germany without going through this training. And so booksellers are like doctors or engineers. You can't practice unless you've been through the training. So in Germany, for example, booksellers have a 3-year apprenticeship. And every week of that entire 3-year apprenticeship, they have to go to school 1 day a week to learn about all the necessary skills to being a bookseller. Accounting, bibliography, the history of literature, the different departments of a university, how to do marketing, and anything else expected from a professional bookseller. And after 3 years, they have to sit an exam. And then there are 2 more years before that person can even teach another apprentice. So the bookseller will have 5 years experience, 5 years before he can even mentor another bookseller. The whole basis of the German system is that of training is that only a bookseller who is successful in business can be a successful bookseller. I mean, it's no good knowing everything about literature, everything about Chinua Achebe, his books, everything except all that, if you don't know how to keep the accounts of your bookshop properly. I think Kohler can do that, but can we all do that? As a result of this long training in Germany, booksellers have a very high social standing, like doctors. People know what it takes to be a bookseller in Germany. And therefore, faced with this long training, but the high social standing at the end, the book trade only attracts those who are really interested, those who want it for a long time career. And in fact, I mean, this was just the opposite of what I encountered on a recent training mission. I went to Ghana. About 3 years ago, I was asked to train the staff of Kingdom Bookshop, which have 11 branches in Ghana. And I trained lots of enthusiastic young staff, and I went away feeling very happy. But then I came back about a year later, and they'd all gone. So very few of those staff were left. So retaining staff through a good training program, providing the possibility of a long-term career, is something which the German bookshops obviously provide, and which was obviously absent in this situation I had in Kingdom Bookshops Ghana. And those few booksellers, those trainees might have gained a bit more money by leaving to go to banks or insurance companies. But I would argue that selling life insurance all day gets a bit boring. These are the benefits you'll get after 35 years if you buy this policy. That might be boring after a while. Bookselling with 1,000 new books being published every week in the UK alone can never be boring. Every conceivable customer walking into your shop, from a professor of medicine to a tiny toddler who sits on the carpet reading Tintin, to perhaps even the president of your country coming into your bookshop. I was at the Ghana Book Fair many years ago, and the president of Ghana came by and stopped. He talked for about 5 minutes, and he believed passionately in the importance of books. And it was very encouraging. So, if we take those 3 examples, what can we learn from those 3 examples? Well, one thing which I take from all of them really is the importance of advocacy. The association must be an advocate to government, an advocate to the public, an advocate to Nigerian publishers, an advocate to overseas suppliers. It must speak with a voice, promoting the Nigerian book trade as a whole. Let's take governments. Governments are obviously very difficult to access and even more difficult to persuade. Yet due to their immense power, the immense sums of money at their disposal, that effort must be made. And that effort is best made by an association, as governments only deal really and prefer to deal with associations. And so it must be the job of any bookseller association to nose out the contacts of the key ministries and to establish themselves as the important point of information, so that those government officials then turn to the Bookseller Association, and the Bookseller Association effectively gets consultee status, the preferred person to consult, the preferred organization on matters of literacy, education, leisure. So, what should the association be advocating? Well, obviously, the importance of books in the dissemination of learning. And here, immediately, we come across, and what this conference is also addressing, we come across the first big battle to fight. And all of you have been fighting it for some years. Books versus the internet. Online learning is what we want, say ministry officials. I went to a school in Botswana, a group of schools run by a big mining company. They had loads of money, and they said, we're not going to bother about books, we're just doing online learning. So that's that. Well, a year later, they learned that actually books were important. Actually, that's how people learn best. And that's the message you have to get through. But it's a very difficult message now with COVID. And everyone staying at home, people not wanting to go to shops. And even in schools, which are open, libraries are out of bounds, certainly in UK. You can't go to libraries and touch books because they're thought it'll transfer the COVID. So, but we still have to advocate even the importance of books and somehow get the books into those hands of our readers. Because research indicates that whether you're a toddler learning to read and write or a school child wanting to pass a GCSE exam or a university student, at the end you are more likely to learn if you read books than if you merely look at the internet. And books are also a very important source of leisure. So that has to be the heart of our message, that books are absolutely crucial for education. Books are superb for leisure. We also have to, as a booksellers association, we have also to promote the importance of booksellers in the dissemination of learning. That is another big battle because many organizations now prefer to go direct. The World Bank is advocating all the time that governments buy direct from publishers. And if booksellers want to participate in those contracts, they have to have special letters from publishers saying they are the sole agent in that country or the sole person to deal with the government. So that is another battle to fight. But it is possible to fight. Some years ago, the Booksellers Association of Zambia persuaded the government that the Ministry of Education distribution of books should be done through the booksellers, who were in every part of the country, and each bookseller had a contract to supply particular schools. And that model, I think, worked extremely well. The Booksellers Association of Zambia were a bit lucky then because the project officer was a former bookseller. The other key role of advocacy is to promote the Nigeria booksellers and booksellers in Nigeria to institutions and the public generally. Campaigns like World Book Day, which link bookshops and the public together, are vital for that. The Booksellers Association also need to promote and advocate the idea of buying local, the American idea, that it is important to support your local bookshop as a cultural anchor. If you buy local, if a bookshop is in a shopping center, that shopping center does better. It brings footfall to that shopping center. So bookshops are vital to commercial success of other people, be they pharmacists or food people or beauty shops next door. Having the bookshop there.
Van Haslet.
Yes.
Is a bit eccentric. Who else is watching this thing now? Sir? Who else is watching the program?
May I continue?
Yeah, people are watching the program now.
Let's go on.
Can please continue?
Please mute everybody, please.
You have muted the speaker, please. You have muted the speaker. No, not you, Kelvin. Not you, Kelvin. Not you.
The association also, I think, needs to take a book out of a leaf out of the American Association to promote bookshops as cultural centers of communities, where bookshops promote local authors, local celebrities. I know this is difficult now during COVID times, but it's something we perhaps need to plan for the future. Perhaps the most important thing, I think, also for the association, which can be done fairly easily, is to promote the Nigeria book trade to its, not only to Nigeria suppliers, but also to overseas suppliers. I believe the association should build very close links with the Nigeria Publishers Association, the Printers Association, and the Authors Association, as Ms. Adeshina suggested. And that is what has been done in Germany. Those close links have been built, and the German book trade is really among the strongest in the world. Indeed, it is buying up the publishers and the booksellers in UK because it is so strong. The Nigeria Bookseller Association, I think, needs also to build very close links with both the Booksellers Association in UK and the Publishers Association in UK, so that when you come over for the London Book Fair, you need to have formal meetings with those two associations. The Publishers Association in particular needs to be met to improve the image of Nigerian booksellers, because many UK publishers will feel that Nigeria is a market which is difficult for them. Some have had experiences of not being paid. They've had their books pirated, and so they feel that Nigeria is a very difficult market to deal with, much more difficult than, say, selling books to Holland or to Scandinavia or even to Kenya. So Nigeria, I think, has got a big job to do. It's a huge market, and working together with the UK publishers and also with the American Publishers Association, I believe a lot more trade could be built up between them. And this brings me to the next step of this talk. It is the maintenance, well, the establishing and the maintenance of standards. I'm taking the model from Germany. They've got standards. Their staff are all fully qualified. And following the German model, I think, could be a useful model for Nigeria. And it should be that membership of the Nigerian Association is automatically a badge of confidence, something which people can be proud of. It's a clear sign to the public when that association badge is put on the bookshop's door. It's a clear sign that this bookshop is a reliable bookshop. It's a member of the Booksellers Association of Nigeria. It's got standards. It's got a code of conduct. It's got a code of ethics. Its personnel are properly trained. So I believe a code of conduct for members of the association should be on the association website. The other big issue which I've touched on is book piracy. I mean, this is a major issue for local authors and publishers in Nigeria, and also for publishers overseas. It means that many publishers don't even bother to visit the Nigerian market because they believe there's no point in promoting their books they'll merely get pirated. And I believe that in the future, if the Booksellers Association take a very firm stand on this issue and enforce it with their members, then this will be a very big step forward with cooperation with overseas suppliers. So when a member of the Nigeria Bookseller Association meet publishers at the Frankfurt Book Fair or the London Book Fair, it will be enough at the very outset of this meeting to say, I am a member of the Nigeria Bookseller Association. That will give that confidence for that meeting to go forward. I believe that attracting very top people to bookselling is vitally important for the book trade in Nigeria, and that is something the association need to encourage. I would just like to spend a couple of moments talking about the experience of Waterstones. Waterstones is the best bookshop in the UK. It has grown like crazy. It has now got many more branches, nearly 300 I believe, spread all around the UK. If you go into any Waterstones, you will find a uniform standard of staff. Their staff are enthusiastic. If you go there and you want to help on finding a particular book, the history of Nigeria in the 18th century, that bookseller will do his utmost to help you. He will spend time on computers. He'll go around the shelves. He will not stop until he has found a solution to your problem. And that is so different than the experience I find going to so many bookshops in Africa. You go in there and very often the owner, the proprietor is away. There's a young girl there maybe who's just been put there just to sort of be a presence in the bookshop to make sure it's not burgled, but he or she can't do anything else, and you can't get any reply or any response or any information from that bookshop. And that is such a wasted opportunity. So I believe that the association need to work with booksellers to lift the standard of personnel, and to do that through training courses and other methods. I would also recommend too this book called by Tim Waterstone, The Face Pressed Against a Window, and that I gave to every member of the who came to the talk last year at the London Book Fair. I gave away 50 copies of this book because it's a book which charts the history of Waterstones, how this bookseller chain became a success. And I recommend strongly that you read it and indeed order it. I think actually Nigeria could go one step further than Tim Waterstone. Instead of just recruiting top graduates like he does, graduates who know their subject, and are given are delegated to man the particular sections of those bookshops, and if they're a philosophy graduate, they might manage the philosophy section, or if they're a business graduate, they might do the business and economics section of the bookshop. He always recruited graduates. But I would go one step further. I think the Nigeria Booksellers Association should look at the qualification structure in Germany. Perhaps look at certificates, perhaps look at diplomas, perhaps even degrees. And the Booksellers Association should perhaps could work with a university, perhaps the University of Lagos or universities in other parts of the country, to set up a qualification system which is endorsed so that bookshop staff can go and get these certificates, get these diplomas, and really learn about bookselling and have the qualifications to go forward. So perhaps a first step could be that the Bookseller Association of Nigeria are beginning to already have regular training courses on key subjects which booksellers from all over the country can attend at a reasonable cost and become trained, and so give bookselling assistants some idea that they have a career structure and they have the qualifications. I would like now to look at membership benefits. Everybody, when they join an association, they want a benefit. What's in it for me, they say. Well, I think that the Nigeria Bookseller Association could do a lot worse than go and sit down with the Booksellers Association of UK and say, look, can we borrow things from your website? Can we adapt things from your website? Can you work with us to help build our website so that we can provide the wealth of membership benefits that you give booksellers in the UK? I believe there could even be aid funding for this project, because many donors would be very interested in a strong and vibrant bookseller association. They could see the real benefits of that. And establishing a website with multiple benefits for booksellers could be a huge step forward for the education of this country. I believe also that on that website you could borrow from the California Bookseller Association. You could have a list of all the representatives of publishers, both within Nigeria. So if you're in Cross River State, you know who the local rep is for Macmillan, or whatever, or African Universities Press, and also you could know who the representative is for Oxford University Press in UK, and their phone number and the emails. There needs to be information on the Booksellers Association of Nigeria website of wholesalers, because wholesalers are often much easier to get books and other materials than individual publishers. They're a one-stop source. That information needs to be available to all. Freight forwarders are very important in getting books into Nigeria. Air freight, sea freight, courier. Again, all the information, the phone numbers, the emails, contact addresses, contact names, all that, if it's on your website, would be a huge membership benefit. Another benefit could be discounts. It's very expensive, for example, to buy the Nielsen book database. But if you're supplying libraries, that's a vital tool. It costs a lot of money. Maybe the association could arrange with Nielsen that there should be a special discount for Nigeria booksellers. And the Nigeria booksellers, if you're a member, and you can give your membership number, would get a huge discount for buying that particular vital tool to supplying university libraries. I now come on to the threat to this association. And the threat is coming down the line. It's in America, it's in UK, where Amazon now have 25% of all book sales, and after COVID, I think there might even be 35%, I don't know. But Very few people have been into bookshops in the last 6 months. Amazon have invested hugely, and what they've done is they've advertising that they've done this. They're advertising, they've sanitized all their entire warehouses and adopting the very highest sanitary standards. So if people who are terrified of COVID will think, well, I must buy from Amazon, I shouldn't walk into that bookshop. I know in Nigeria you're also adopting in bookshops very tight precautions. But nevertheless, the Amazon threat is there. And as booksellers, you need to bring in books as cheaply as possible into Nigeria through sea freight and other methods, getting together to bring books in together as bookshops, working as consortia, doing everything to make books easily and cheaply available, doing everything to work in your local communities so that you are the people that people turn to. The Amazon threat is coming down the road, and it is through this association that you need to be prepared. I'd like to finish my talk to you today with what is the future. What can be done? I leave it with a message of optimism. You have in your president, you have in your executive team, a team with the right ideas, the capability and the determination to make this association, the Booksellers Association of Nigeria, the very best association in the world. Nothing less should be your aim. A formidable association to be of real help to your members. A formidable force for good in this country in the promotion of books, reading, and education. A formidable force for economic development. And above all, a formidable force for the happiness and contentment of people here in Nigeria. After all, what parent does not want the best for their child to learn to read books, to become educated? It is our mission to help them. It needs all of you to support this objective of building an association that can speak effectively with one voice to government, to work in concert to promote the need for books and access to books, to provide real membership benefits in terms of skills training and information and qualifications, and to project a good image of Nigerian booksellers worldwide. The next two speakers on September the 4th on online marketing training and the Booksellers Association Directory of Nigeria are wonderful foundation steps to going forward, to building your association. And I look forward very much to listening to those presentations. I'd end by saying that I think that in forging this association to be the best in the world, Nigerians have a great advantage, a Nigerian strength. And I've noticed that when Nigerian booksellers are together at book fairs overseas, there is a real camaraderie. And this is the single most important asset of an association, camaraderie, sticking together, working together. At the Frankfurt Motor Show, one of the biggest in the world, it's also one of the loneliest for exhibitors. Nobody dares go out with anybody else for fear of giving away some special secret. But by contrast, at the London Book Fair or the Frankfurt Book Fair, booksellers and publishers from different companies get together, party together, and more beer is drunk during the Frankfurt Book Fair than at any other fair during the entire year. We all learn from each other, we all help each other, we all enjoy each other's company. Booksellers are stronger, speaking with one voice. In the internet age, when with COVID-19 and schools closed and competition from contractors with no bookshop experience, with rampant book piracy, making it not worthwhile for local authors, let alone local publishers, to promote their own books. We have a battle on our hands. Booksellers need a strong association here in Nigeria. So I do urge you to renew your membership, get involved, form a branch in your area, meet together with other booksellers, work together on joint campaigns. You are stronger together. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Thank you so much, Calvin.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I think Calvin deserves a round of applause by all of us, please. Virtual round of applause, please.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You've kept within your time, and for some of us who have the program with us, the agenda for today, just a quick recap of what Kelvin spoke about. Just for a quick, I know that all of us, we listened, and we also jotted down a number of things. It started by talking about the websites of different booksellers associations, the features that you can find in their website, and what has made this association very formidable and strong. Of course, it started with the American Bookseller Association, ABA, went on to UK Bookseller Association, and of course, the German example also was given. And in all these associations, they have different attractive packages that make them to be useful and attractive to their members. And of course, such features make them to be a voice to reckon with in their different jurisdictions. And of particular importance is that of Germany that has infused the booksellers and the publishers together, and there's a lot of synergy between the two bodies. And of course, the kind of training that goes on within the German model, where you have people who have to be to literally learn book selling and they do it well and become qualified. It was interesting to know that before you become a mentor to another bookseller, you must have spent about 5 years. That is very, very important. And of course, he spoke about the need to establish and maintain standards which will stand us out among other stakeholders. For you to be able to present yourself to the public or to another jurisdiction as a very serious association, you need to have standards. And these are the standards that the public and other people will judge you by. So he spoke about that, and I said, I'm sure that we also noted some of the things he mentioned there. Of course, he talked about membership benefit, which will make people to, the booksellers, to join hands with the association to make it formidable. And as you need to look at what makes UK Booksellers Association, what is making that association tick to make, and it starts by having a good website where you have a list of service providers on your website, and members can be able to see how useful, and they can tap into the benefits of those, like having the wholesalers data, having the publishers representative data, and having freight forwarders that at a glance, booksellers and members can see this and be able to have some benefits. And of course, talk about the threats, which is mainly the online. And of course, the Amazon was mentioned here. But how do we go, how do we come, how people work around this? He also said that now booksellers have to come together and be able to bring their book in easily and make them available to the public. Online is real time. So it's a threat. But again, as a formidable association, we can work around it. And of course, he talked about the future of the association, and where he gave a number of pieces of advice to the association, how we can make ourselves the formidable force in promoting the ideas of books, how we can make ourselves formidable as a force for economic development, as a trade group, and of course to project the image of booksellers to the Nigerian public and foreign audience as well. So I will stop here. Just as I said, just a little recap of what Kevin discussed in his presentation. I'm sure that, and I know that he has given us quite a number of things to think about, even as association, to make ourselves the needed stimulus in the book supply chain. So right now, what we are left with comments, and then we are going to have a questions and answer session. For the brief comments, I know that we have our leaders here also participating. We want to have a brief comment from some of our people, and then we go into the question and answer quickly. We don't want to exceed the allotted or scheduled time for this conference. So I will call, not in a particular order, but I got to know that Mr. Aladeshui is having another meeting or conference anytime from now. So I want him to make some brief comments on this presentation, on this topic this morning, please. Mr. Aladeshui, please.
Well, thank you very, very much, the coordinator. If you permit me, I want to first of all ask that you unmute everybody and let us give a rounding claps in appreciation to Kelvin's submission. That's a well-researched article, so please let us clap for Kelvin. Let him feel that we appreciate these papers kindly, first and foremost.
Oh, yes, you. Please, let's clap for Kelvin.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kelvin. Thank you. Honestly, you delve into the root of our problems as an association in Nigeria who are selling books for many years. I want to first of all thank the president, Mr. Dario Oluwatoyi, who gave me the opportunity to be at this meeting. I want to thank the other members who are finding time, who have found the time to be on this Zoom meeting as well. Honestly, when Dario invited me, I said, what is this about? But I now appreciate that what has been delivered by way of comments initially and then Kelvin's paper. Thank you very much. Honestly, once again, I will thank the president and his team, Dario and the ESCO, for what they are doing. You are doing very well, honestly. We've gone into the cooler for many years, but you are taking the courage and then you are bringing this to bear. Book selling in Nigeria is very tough, Mr. Kelvin, very, very tough.
And I'll quickly go into the situation about a bulk order in Nigeria, where publishers only benefit. And when I look at it, I think we had an opportunity some years back where the UBEC appointed distributors. I think they did only once. And I remember Avila benefited. Once they did it. And we actually delivered because we have better networks. We have bulk publishers, nooks and crannies of this country. We can deliver those books. But like you rightly mentioned in advocacy, we need to advocate. We need to insist. We need to tell the government our problems. I remember that I've had to fight tooth and nail when during the COVID, the initial start of the COVID, I tried to even get attention that the government can also give booksellers palliatives. Of course, it affected our business negatively till today. Okay, but palliative was given to quite a number of other professionals and so on, medical. Pharmaceutical today, I know I'm on the board of a pharmaceutical company that got 500 million as a loan with about 5% from CBN. Okay, because they are going
Mr. Steve, you have done justice to those questions. Because of time, we might not be able to take any question again. Every other question, they can drop them and then we can then provide the answers to them. So I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Steve Olayinka. You have been a regular presenter on our webinars at the Nigerian Publishers Association. And this one you have done very well again. You have done justice to the topic. And I think we are going home here with this, that we need to leverage on technology. I know that so many authors and publishers out there are afraid. And somebody asked me a question. He said, with this technology thing we are talking about, digital this, e-book and what have you, is the book not going to die? I mean, the conventional book, the physical book. And I said, no, the book is not dying. But technology is helping the book to evolve, you know, from its physical confines. The book had been confined, you know, to the physical form for a long time. So technology is helping the book to evolve. The book is not dying. The book is not dying. So that's the answer to everyone there who is afraid of technology. It's not taking away the physical book. The conventional book will still be there, but then technology will help the book to evolve, you know, to come out of its physical confine, you know, into the digital area. So once again, I want to say a very big thank you to our facilitator for this session, Mr. Steve Olayinka. Thank you very much. You're welcome. We are going to take another presentation now. That is going to be a very brief presentation for about 10-15 minutes. And that will be taken by Mr. Can Bostin. Can Bostin is from Turkey. And the presentation is on offshore printing, production, and supply chain. Offshore printing, production, and supply chain. So don't go away. After this brief advert, Mr. Can Bostin will be coming on here for his brief presentation. Thank you very much.